Imagine you are part of a military unit sent to deliver supplies to a group of scientists but end up being attacked by a group of flesh-eating mutated humans. What will you do? Our story begins in a dark room where a restrained woman screams as she gives birth. After several minutes of pain and suffering, a deformed child is delivered. A mysterious man checks on the baby, then coldly ends the mother's life. This terrifying story began 2 years earlier, when a family traveling through the desert accidentally stumbled upon a restricted military zone known as Sector 16. The next day, half of the family was dead. Now in the present, military commanders dispatch a new team to install electronic surveillance in the area. Technician Han sets up some dummy dolls inside an abandoned mine while Dr. Wilson monitors from the control room using a heat sensor. He notices some system connections are faulty and alerts Han. As he continues checking, something unusual appears on the scanner, but before he can analyze it, the screen shuts down. Han goes to inspect the power box and finds the wires burnt. He assumes rats are responsible. Meanwhile, Dr. Foster sets up his equipment on a nearby hill and tries to contact Wilson, receiving no reply. He calls Han, unaware that Han is already dead inside the mine, his intestines scattered on the ground. When Foster turns, he sees a mutated man chewing on a snake. He tries to communicate, but the mutant begins growling a strange word. It takes Foster a moment to understand he is saying run away. Before he can react, a mutant hits him from behind, killing him instantly. Colonel Redding hears the scream and searches for Foster. A mutant sneaks up behind him, impales him with a metal rod and throws him down the hill. Then, the movie cuts to a chaotic scene, where a soldier named Spitter retrieves his dropped helmet despite warnings, triggering a mine explosion that throws him into the air. An enemy soldier taunts the squad, prompting Crank to charge recklessly, followed by the rest. They toss grenades into a building, and the blast knocks them off their feet. A baby doll lands nearby, followed by a crying woman who appears to be searching for her child. As Napoleon approaches to help, she reveals a vest filled with grenades and says kaboom. It is revealed to be a military simulation. After the exercise, Sergeant Jeffrey scolds them for acting carelessly. He announces that they will head to Sector 16 to deliver supplies to the scientists. Upon arrival, they find the camp completely abandoned and the radios useless. Crank opens the mine door and is startled by bats. They find a destroyed satellite phone. They see a signal mirror on the hilltop, and Jeffrey calls for a rescue mission but Napoleon suggests contacting the base first, but Jeffrey punishes him by assigning him to guard the latrine on one leg. Jeffrey sees Amber flirting and assigns her to radio duty. As the group climbs the hill, Mickey falls into a hidden hole. The team pulls him out just in time. Injured, Mickey is sent back to camp. Later, Napoleon enters the latrine. A hand grabs his leg from the toilet. He screams and runs. Amber, skeptical, checks and sees a human arm rise from the waist. They scream and seal the door as a wounded man climbs out but end up assisting him. It is Wilson, covered in deep wounds. With his last breath, he whispers, "They are here." They clean up and try the radio again. It still does not work. Suddenly, smoke rises behind them. Someone has set their truck on fire. Amber discovers her rifle is missing. Scared, she runs off to meet the others in the hill, but Napoleon stays behind. Later, Amber hears a noise and is attacked by a mutant. She hits him with a rock. As the mutant raises a blade, a bullet strikes him. Mickey, firing from above, has returned. The mutant escapes into the mine. As they speak, a mutant grabs Mickey's ankle from a hole. Amber tries to help, but the grip is strong. Napoleon arrives, but Mickey is crushed and pulled into the narrow space. On the hill, they find Foster's body with his wallet embedded in a head wound. Spitter tries to radio the camp but gets no response. Suddenly, a mutant attacks Spitter but only hits his backpack. Spitter fires and the mutant escapes. From higher ground, the mutant throws a rock. Spitter panics and accidentally shoots Jeffrey. They try to save him, but he dies. Amber and Napoleon arrive and share the news about Mickey. They wrap Jeffrey's body in a blanket and prepare to return. To get down the hill, Napoleon ties Jeffrey's body to Spitter, who carries it down but the rope snaps, and Spitter falls to his death. Crank blames Napoleon but Delmer discovers the rope was deliberately cut. All the spare ropes are also missing. Searching for another way down, they hear a noise and find Redding alive. As they try to help him, Redding laughs. He reveals that mutant humans live in the mine due to past radiation. They kill men and capture women to reproduce. When asked how to escape, Redding ends his own life. Later, Missy shows Amber a video of her son. A mutant appears and Missy screams. The team shoots the creature. Missy steps away to relieve herself. A camouflage mutant grabs her and drags her into the mine. The others chase, but Stump returns downhill to get help. Inside the mine, The group finds a blocked tunnel. Delmer kicks it open and leads them down. Meanwhile, Stump finds a side tunnel. He calls out, "Here's nothing," turns to leave, and is killed by a mutant. Inside the mine, Amber and Napoleon falls into a pit. Crank and Delmer stay behind. Crank jumps across a gap and barely holds on. Delmer pulls him up. They climb down using a wooden beam. The mutant brings Missy to a dusty room and assaults her. She bites his tongue and tries to escape. A larger mutant appears and throws her down. He tells her he wants a baby and attacks her. Napoleon and Amber find Stump's headband and severed hand. A mutant suddenly attacks them. Amber blinds him and Napoleon crushes his skull with a rock. Then a blind mutant with a gun appears. They escape through a hatch and meet a friendly mutant. Crank and Delmer enter the same tunnel. The blind mutant shoots and wounds Delmer. Crank fires back and kills him. Napoleon opens the hatch for them. The friendly mutant leads them through a kitchen filled with body parts to safety. There, Delmer dies from his wounds. They reach the exit, but the door is jammed. Amber insists on rescuing Missy, and Napoleon follows her back. Crank finds dynamite and pulls it out, triggering an explosion. Amber and Napoleon survive but Crank dies. On their way to find Missy, they go through the old meeting room, where one of the mutants disguised as a dummy attacks them. After a tense fight, Napoleon slashes him and Amber finishes him. They find Missy and distract the large mutant using her son's video. They rescue her, but the mutant returns and throws Napoleon aside and attacks Missy. Amber uses her last bullet but only injures him. The mutant grabs and chokes her. Napoleon stabs him while Amber crushes his skull through the wound. Missy keeps kicking him. He grabs her ankle, but Napoleon ends it with an axe. Missy smashes his groin with a hammer and Napoleon fires one last shot, killing it. The 3 survivors leave the mine. Make sure to subscribe, like and turn on notifications for more stories like this. Thank you for watching.